recording engineer Nathaniel Green is suing his ex-girlfriend, activity supervisor Takai Tomlin, for the value of his jewelry and for the return of his cat named 2.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, this is case number 16 on the calendar in the matter of Green versus Tomlin. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Green, you and the defendant lived together for a period of time, broke up, she moved out.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it is your claim that she came back sometime later and took several items from the house that belonged to you. One was your cat, and the other is some jewelry.
Yes, Your Honor.
Defendant says that the cat really belonged to both of you, but was more attached to her. And as far as the jewelry is concerned, her answer is sort of, she took it.
Well,
so let me get some dates from you. When did you start to live together?
Well, this is probably like back in 99.
And when was the cat purchased?
July 2000.
Did you purchase it from somebody?
Yes, I purchased from a good friend of mine. I have the receipt showing that I purchased the cat.
What kind of cat was it?
Snowshoe cat.
Snowshoe cat?
Yes, ma'am.
Heard of that. Is that a pedigree cat?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Well, I have a picture too, Your Honor, of the cat.
Could I see it?
And on the back of the picture, Your Honor, if you would take a look, the defendant wrote some very disturbing things to me when she stole the cat from me.
Okay, so now I see the cat. When did the two of you separate?
November 2001, we separated.
Okay, is that when you moved out?
Mm-hmm.
Was it just the two of you living together?
Us and our 2 children.
You have 2 children together?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are the 2 children?
2 and 3 years old.
And you took the children with you?
At the time, yeah.
Where are they now?
Right now, they're with a babysitter.
But I take care of them, they live with me.
The children do live with him.
They live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that by court order?
No, ma'am.
That was by agreement of the 2 of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when did you take the cat?
The beginning of January. When
Why?
I came back to get my things. The main reason for me leaving in the first place is because I found out he was cheating on me.
Okay.
So when I came...
But you came back in January.
Mm-hmm, and I got my
Excuse me,
things.
Your Honor. That's not true. I wasn't cheating on her. It was a rumor that her friends
No.
spread to her.
No.
Okay, I'm not going there.
Okay.
I'm talking about the cat.
Right.
You came back in January. You had not taken the cat in November.
No.
So you came back in January.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you take the cat in January?
When I came back in January, I got all of my things. I picked up all of my things and everything. I just felt the cat would be better off with me.
Excuse me, Your Honor. May I say something? Before we even started, dating, I had another cat, and my cat passed away. I bought this cat, and, it took a lot of pressure off of me from my first cat being deceased, and it meant a lot to me sentimentally, and I don't understand why this woman would take my cat from my house.
She took the cat because she was angry.
I understand that, but she...
How's that? She took the cat because she was angry.
Your Honor, I have some letters that the defendant was writing me, threatening me about my cat.
Let me see that.
And things that she took from me.
I'm not going to get to the other things until I finish with the cat.
Okay.
Do you understand? One thing at a time. You were very angry.
Excuse me.
Shh. All right. Now let's get to the jewelry. When you came back in January, you took some jewelry that belonged to him. Tell me what you took.
It was a chain with a pendant and a Rolex watch. It was in a box.
And the Rolex watch belonged to?
Nathaniel.
Where did Nathaniel get the Rolex watch from?
He says from his father.
Why did you take the jewelry? For the same reason you took 2?
At the time that I took the box and everything, I was angry. I didn't care about how he felt or anything because...
Well, you wanted him to feel badly.
Yeah.
Listen to me. You have 2 children together. Do you visit your children?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so you see them regularly?
Mm-hmm.
What's supposed to happen is that when a relationship doesn't work out, I don't care how long it is, in this case it's since 1999, you're not supposed to go through hating. You're supposed to say, it didn't work out, terrible, he hurt me, he violated me, but I have 2 children with him, and I want to have a reasonable relationship with him just for the sake of the children. So I don't want to do anything that's going to, long-term, continue this hate. Do you understand?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Mr. Green, you feel as if you need a cathartic experience here. Is there anything else you want to say to me?
Yes, as far as my Rolex watch, my father had left it to me. He had passed away, and it was real sentimental to me. And this woman, she hurt me. I really do still love this woman because we have kids and I want to work it out, but I can never trust her again. I don't even think she has my stuff anymore.
She has your stuff.
I have the cat.
Where's the other stuff?
I pawned it.
Where?
MCDs, I think it's called.
When did you pawn it?
February.
When does the ticket expire?
I'm not sure.
I'm never going to see my stuff again, Your Honor. I'm never.
I'm really not sure.
Well, didn't you think you should find that out before you came here today? How much did you pawn it for?
The watch was $4,000. The chain was $1,900, I think.
And what'd you do with the money?
Well, right now, like I said, I'm in between places. That's why the children are with him, so.
She has no stable life, Your Honor.
No, I don't, honestly.
Well, I'm asking you, what did you do with the money?
At that point, I bought some things.
She's a
I
liar,
was
Your
staying
Honor.
with someone,
She's a
so
liar.
I gave my sister some money also.
Listen, let me tell you this, Mr. Green. Your lawsuit seeks $2,600 from Ms. Tomlin. That's
Right.
what you're suing her for.
Right, ma'am.
Okay, that has nothing to do with the cat, because you're talking about the jewelry. She
Right.
got a lot more for the jewelry. Now, I don't know whether she can get it back. I'm not sure how long these pawn tickets are good for. Whether they're good for 30 days or 60 days
I've been trying
or
to get
90
my
days.
jewelry back all this time, Your
Well,
Honor.
she made a very, very bad mistake.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And later today,
Did you ever take her out for dinner?
No, not really. I ain't spend no big money on her.
I'm not talking about big money. I'm asking you, went on a date. Did you pay?
Not really, because she wanted to pay for everything. She wanted to pay for everything, you know.
All right, listen, you must be absolutely wonderful.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nathaniel Green says ex-girlfriend Takai Tomlin stole his jewelry and his cat named too. Takai says she only took what she was entitled to.
You have to start to be smart, Mr. Green. I said it to her. I don't know if she's accepting it, but you have to be smart. Right now you have your 2 children living with you. They have a mother. The mother sees the children. I don't know whether this relationship will come together again. It may. In the meantime, she has to do the right thing. Give you back your cat, do you understand? And give you back your jewelry. Miss Tomlin, do you understand?
Yes.
And then you will not be so angry with her. She may still continue to be angry at you, but she will be able to see her children with a lighter heart. You're not supposed to continue to dredge up the past.
I tried working with her. I tried working with her. I tried getting back my stuff for a matter of time.
Sorry, Mr. Green. I really thought I could get at least your father's watch back for you. But if she sold it, there's nothing I can do for you except give you the judgment that you're requesting and suggest to you that she did the wrong thing. I think that at this point, at least I hope she knows she did the wrong thing. In the scheme of things, I know that you're hurt because you don't have your stuff, but you have the most important possessions, and that's your 2 children. Do you understand?
Right. Your Honor, how am I sure that I'm getting my cat back, Your Honor?
I will prepare an order that you get your cat back, and you can use a sheriff or a marshal to ensure
You know,
that
I've been trying to be nice to this woman, work with this woman, and she know that how I feel about my cat.
Mr. Green, all I can do is prepare an order. If she refuses to give you the cat, I think it's a big mistake because you have custody of your 2 children. If she wants to continue to be able to enjoy a reasonable flow of visitation with the children, with the person who has custody, that's their father, then what she's supposed to do is do the right thing. You did the wrong thing with regard to the jewelry. Now you better do the right thing with regard to the cat so that he doesn't have to go and get a marshal to enforce the order. Do you understand, Miss Tomlin? He has physical custody and takes care of the most precious things that the 2 of you have together, and that's your children. Not the cat, and not the Rolex, and not the chain and pendant. So you're supposed to do the right thing, not the wrong thing. Grow up. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount requested in your suit, $2,600. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
My father's watch and my cat, she knew how I really felt about it, and she really wanted to hurt me, and she succeeded.
Now knowing I have a conscience and I feel bad that I hurt him. It's too bad he didn't feel that way about me.
She said if I keep on calling her trying to get my stuff back, I wouldn't get my stuff back, and I find my cat in the pet cemetery.
Everything I wrote and said, I did out of anger.
When you have kids, try to work things out, you know, because you're hurting the kids in the long run.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Higgs versus Culpepper. Step forward, please.
20-year-old college student Jennifer Higgs is suing former roommate, 18-year-old student Chantel Culpepper, for destroying her personal property. Chantal denies the charges.
Ms. Higgs, you and the defendant had been college roommates. Is that right? There were 3 girls in your suite?
No, there were 4.
According to your complaint, you had the defendant and at least one of the other gals moved out of the suite because you believed that one or both of them were involved in stealing some of your property.
Yes.
That's not what the lawsuit is about. The lawsuit is about some property of yours that was later vandalized.
Yes.
And you believe that the defendant was responsible for that. And there were 4 girls in the room.
Well, it was more like an apartment with 3 bedrooms. I had a single bedroom with myself. Chantal shared a room with Jasmine, and then there was another roommate named Michelle, who had her own room.
Now, there came a time when you found some of your items missing and then later found your ATM card missing. And when you subsequently went to check, there was some $1,400 missing.
Yes.
Now, what made you think that the defendant and or this other young lady were involved in taking your credit card?
Because that occurred during February of this year. In January, our other roommate, Michelle, had moved out. So basically, it was myself, Chantal, and Jasmine who were in the apartment.
And you made a report of that?
Yes.
To whom?
Report. To the campus police.
What happened as a result of that?
The bank took a while to get back to the detective, and they only keep the video for about a month. And by the time the bank got back to the detective, the tape was already erased.
Well, since there was really no proof that they had taken your credit card, tell me on what authority you believe they were in fact evicted from the apartment.
Well, basically we weren't getting along. Other things became stolen. Shower products were being used. My food was constantly being eaten.
Okay. So they left. Now, what kind of damage was done to your things in the apartment?
The new handle was broken off of my bedroom door. It had been locked when I left. All the wires to the electrical things in my room were cut, like my TV, my PlayStation, my clock radio. Yes, it was actually cut.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jennifer Higgs says former college roommate Chantal Culpepper vandalized her property by cutting the cords to her electronic equipment.
When had the girls been evicted from the apartment?
Earlier that day, Chantal was helping Jasmine move her things out, but Chantal's stuff was still in the apartment when they left.
Was the front door to the apartment, was that locked when you came home?
Yes.
Other than the key that you had and that Chantal had and that Jasmine had, did anyone else have a key to your apartment other than management?
No.
Do you have any documentation for me, photographs or anything else?
Yes, I do have
I'd like to
photographs
see it, please.
Of the actual night. And I also have police reports.
See the photographs first. Okay, Ms. Culpepper, now I'll hear you.
All right. First of all, we was friends, we was cool, we threw her a birthday party, you know, went out, hung out, everything. We didn't find out about the credit card until housing told us that Jennifer had been going about writing down reports and everything, and we thinking that we was cool, you know what I'm saying? We were just friends.
Let's get to the day that her property came up vandalized.
We wasn't under the impression that her property was vandalized because we had moved, Jasmine had helped me move out later on that night because we was already being kicked out of that apartment due to her saying that we was wasn't getting along.
Are you living together, the two of you?
No.
You still friends?
Yes.
Have you remained friends?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. One of the two of you cut the wires in her room.
No, we did not.
Yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did. You were angry.
About what?
About what? About being evicted from the apartment. 3 keys.
My wire was cut
3
too.
keys. I don't believe that she cut the wires on her own property and broke down her door. The police report indicates that the front door to the apartment, which was opened with a key, was not damaged. The only door lock that was damaged was the door to her room. The only people that were angry about the situation, as you've just described, you thought everything was cool, everything was wonderful, and all of a sudden you're evicted, were the two of you. The problem is, she doesn't know which one of you did it, or which one of your boyfriends did it, or whoever was helping you move did it. She doesn't know that. But it's clear to me that one of the two of you know who did it. No question in my mind, madam.
Okay. But like I
Good.
said, we was moving out that night. Nothing was wrong with the apartment when we left.
So you mean somebody else just went in there?
No, she has the window onto the balcony. Anybody could have broke in there. She could have came in there.
Let me tell you why nobody
We don't
did
know.
that except the two of you. Because if they came in to steal something, they would have come in and taken the property. They didn't take it. All they did was vandalize it so she couldn't use it. Now that's done by somebody who doesn't like her. Do we understand each other?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Well then, what year in college are you?
I'm a freshman going on to
Well,
my
maybe
sophomore.
you'll understand when you're a junior. What made you choose this defendant as opposed to suing both of them?
Because with the front door, it actually records whose key was used.
Oh, and what time they used it?
Yes, I have a report from school, and it shows the times that she entered it. She entered 5 times while I was gone that night.
So that's why you chose her.
Yeah.
Are you user 1 or 2?
I don't know. They never gave me a copy of that. They said that was only for the plaintiff. They never gave me no information on
Well,
nothing.
let me give you this. You
I
are
was
user.
moving that
You
night.
are user 2.
I was moving that night along with Jasmine helping me. So I had to come in and out the door. We are not allowed to keep the door open.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I did use my key.
Mm-hmm.
When I came home, my wire was cut off my TV.
Did you make a report of that?
Yes, I did.
When?
May 12th.
The first report that you made that you had vandalized property was May 12th?
Mm-hmm.
This happened April 12th.
Okay.
So after they said her room was vandalized, you said my property was vandalized too?
Yeah, that's the whole reason
What
why
I'm
I
saying
moved.
to you is before you knew that her property was vandalized, when you first saw your TV wire cut, did you immediately call housing and say somebody's
No, I did
vandalized
not.
my... Of course not. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $370. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I went to my new apartment. All of a sudden, her wires come up missing and cut and vandalized. That girl knows she did it.
Why would I cut my own cord?
She's gone in the head or something. I don't know why she didn't like it if it was cool with her.
Anything personal, keep it locked some way real safe because something like this could happen.
Commercial fisherman Harry Burroughs and his wife Beth are suing their deceased son's friend, 25-year-old construction worker Cameron Britt, and his mother, Judy Britt. The Burroughs claim Cameron refuses to pay back a car loan.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, this is case number 37 on the calendar in the matter of Burroughs versus Britt. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. and Mrs. Burroughs, it is your claim that you loaned the defendant. You're not a party to this. Could you have a seat, please? That you loaned the defendant $3,000 for the purpose of purchasing a car, and that he has not repaid that loan. The defendant says that he did in fact repay the loan by working for you in your fishing business. That's your defense.
Yes.
Put your hands down. How did you know him?
I met him through a friend of my deceased son's.
How did that come about?
It just happened through because of my deceased son's friends, were coming over to support us over because of his tragedy of his death.
When was that, sir?
Be year June 12th. Be a year.
And tell me how this car loan came about.
I've been helping out some of the kids, that had been having hard times and so forth, financially and getting them jobs and stuff like that there because, I felt like I wasn't doing enough for my own son when he was here. And so I was kind of reaching out to him. A lot of the kids were showing up, and we all became real close.
Did you ever give any of these other friends money?
Yeah, money, and I got them jobs and everything, and they all pretty well paid back, and they're doing good.
All right, now tell me how this loan for a car came about with Mr. Britt.
He needed wheels to get a job, to get back and forth to work if he was going to get a job.
Is that what he told you?
Well, he said wheels would help.
Well, then what kind of conversation did you have with Mr. Britt about the car?
Well, it was $3,000, And he said he would pay back $200 a week. I told him I thought that was a little steep and kind of hard, with him having 2 kids and everything and staying with his parents. And I said, well, you can just pay me maybe a smaller amount. But he said he could pay $200 a week, no problem.
Okay, so you wrote out the check for $3,000 for the car.
No, I gave cash to the guy who had the car, with Cameron and his mom standing there.
And the only reason that the defendant's mother is here is because I gather from your papers there was an arrangement that the car would be titled in her name.
Right.
Why was the car going to be titled in her name?
Because Cameron is on parole or probation, whatever, so he has to stay at her house. She was able to keep up with him better than I was. If the title was in her name, she would hopefully do the right thing if he didn't come up with the money, but weekly like he was supposed to do.
Now, did he pay you in cash any of this $3,000 back?
Yes.
How much?
He paid me $150 2 times.
When?
The first date he doesn't know. He didn't write a date beside it, but the second time was on February 11th.
And what happened after February?
We went on a fishing excursion for the weekend.
Are you a commercial fisherman?
Yes, I commercial fish, and I also work as an operator at a coal terminal.
When he went with you fishing, was that on your business?
See, it can be either business or pleasure, because sometimes the fishing's not good, and sometimes you catch enough to eat, and sometimes you catch more than enough to eat, and then you can sell some of the fish and make money. But it was a weekend away from everything, I guess, is what you would call it.
Okay, but after February 11th, he didn't give you any money.
No.
Okay, Mr. Britton, now I'll hear from you, sir.
How are you doing?
Excuse me?
I said, how are you doing this morning?
That's not relevant
Okay.
to this case.
All right. Well, our agreement was that if I fished with him 4 weeks for 3 days a week, that my car would be paid for, which that didn't happen. I fished the first week, he bought the car.
Okay, your agreement was if you fished with him for 4 weeks,
Right.
3 days a week,
Right.
then the car would be paid for,
Exactly.
and in effect, you would be making $750 a week.
I should have been earning more than
No,
that.
no. But that would mean,
Right.
based upon your statement,
Right.
working 3 days a week,
Right.
3 days a week, that you would be earning $750 a week,
Right.
or $250 per day.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you say that was your agreement.
Right.
Did you fish with him for the 4 weeks?
The first week I fished, we come back. He bought me the car. We was leaving to go fishing that next Wednesday. That same Wednesday morning, he gave me the $3,000. We went to the place. I bought the car from who I bought the car from. So I fished that second week with him, 3 days. We come back. The next week we go down Wednesday. I was stuck till Sunday, which equals 6 days. So I figured that 3 days a week for 4 weeks, if I fished 6 days the last week, I was through.
So you're telling me that you fished every day, and every day you fished, you made money?
Oh, he got $1.75 a pound of fish, and we was bringing fish in that was 25 pounds a piece, and he would bring 80 of them in. You can average his money up. And I didn't get none. I didn't see none of the money. I was supposed to get a quarter. I'm a boatmate. I didn't get a quarter.
How many people were on the boat?
Me and him.
Just the 2 of you?
And he didn't do nothing but drive. I caught everything.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Harry and Beth Burrows say their deceased son's friend, Cameron Britt, owes for a car loan. Cameron says he paid them back by working on their boat.
Mr. Burrows, on the days that Mr. Britt went fishing with you, did you do it for commercial purposes, sir?
On some of the occasions, yes, and some of the occasions, not.
When you had your best day, commercial fishing, how much did you make?
The best day, around $1,200.
How many days did Mr. Britt fish with you when he was not paid?
We probably fished together 7 or 8 times, and there was never agreement on paying him anything. Anything I was to give him was out of my pocket, out of the kindness of my heart.
No, I don't believe that's true. Mr. Burrows, listen to me. I don't believe that that's true. I don't believe that that was his understanding. Why would anybody who needed money go out to work with you and not expect any kind of compensation.
He didn't have a job. He wouldn't do anything else.
Can I
Well,
say
where did he get the money to give you the $300?
probably Social Security that he gets for his 3 children because their mother is dead. I would assume he gets Social Security. I don't know.
He wouldn't get them unless he had the children with him.
He does. The mother is dead.
I raised my kids, but she gets all that money. I don't get none of it.
Okay, but he gave. Now you gave him, Mr. Britt, according to Mr. Burrows, $300 in cash.
I've given him no money.
No, I don't believe that. Listen to me. I do not believe that you didn't give him $300 in cash, sir.
I ain't signed nothing.
I don't care what you said you didn't sign, Mr. Britt. The plaintiff would not say you gave him money if you didn't give him money. That would be stupid of him to say.
I didn't give him no money.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You know what your problem is? Your problem is you're trying to make a case that this was for barter, and you feel as if you gave him any money, that would take away from your case. But that's not necessarily true. What is true is, since if I don't believe you about something that you say to me, I tend to disbelieve other things too.
Right.
So there would be no reason for him to lie and say you gave him some money.
The reason to lie, I don't know either. But I gave him no cash. None at all.
Really?
I wasn't working. You just heard the man. I got the car out of work and I had no money. I lost my job for fishing with him. I was working at Superior Structures, and because I fished with him, I lost my job.
Okay.
Can I say one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
That during the fishing part of the time, we were friends, but the car come to me for working. I never had a deal to pay him no money. Mm-hmm. Where the money come up is the last week when he didn't have nobody to go fishing and make him another $15,000. He got mad. He threatened to burn my car. My car was keyed up. Somebody punched the hood. I bought the car because I liked it, and I got the bill of sale where I had to go sell my car and buy me a $300 car, and him himself has called my cell phone. I should have bought it with me. Threatened to burn my car.
He's angry.
Well, I understand he's angry, but I paid for the car.
All right, good. I'm ready to make a decision.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
he got violent and had to be thrown out of my house by a police officer. And throughout our relationship, he's hurt me.
Listen, you mean you're talking about throughout the 2.5 or 3 years you were living together?
Yeah.
Then you don't get paid for that. You end the relationship, you don't get paid for that.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy, Harry and Beth Burrows say their deceased son's friend, Cameron Britt, owes for a car loan. Cameron says he paid them back by working on their boat.
Mr. and Mrs. Burrows, I think that you probably tried to do a nice thing for Mr. Britt by laying out this money for him to have a car. And I think that it is unreasonable to assume that Mr. Britt would invest days of his time without compensation in your commercial fishing venture, where, according to you, you made probably $1,200 a day, sometimes more, sometimes less.
Sometimes nothing.
Lots of times
sometimes nothing. But that's not his fault. That's not his fault. He's not your partner. So, according to you, Mr. Burrows, he worked for you fishing about 7 times. And I am gauging 7 times at the rate of $250 a day. And from the $3,000, I am deducting $1,750, which leaves a balance of $1,250 that he owes you. Now, I would ordinarily deduct from that the $300 that you say he paid you, leaving $950, but Mr. Britt is insistent that he didn't give you any money.
I didn't.
So I'm entering a judgment in your favor in the amount of $1,250. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, I think they were crazy.
I tried to help out somebody in need.
Told me he was gonna burn my car.
He made an allegation of burning my boat.
He's trying to put me back in prison now. He's got all other kind of charges on me.
Sometimes the good guys just don't finish first.
3-year-old medical office assistant Aaron O'Neill says ex-fiancé Jason Valley owes for credit card charges. Jason says Aaron owes for improvements on a truck and for his prizes won in a wedding contest.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, this is case number 59 on the calendar in the matter of O'Neill versus Valley. You're quite welcome. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Miss O'Neill, you and the defendant were engaged to be married, and according to your complaint, the defendant used your credit cards. You had not given him permission to use the credit cards, and he racked up bills in excess of $5,000.
Correct.
The defendant says that he had the right to use your credit cards. You had given him permission.
Correct.
You have a counterclaim, sir, that it's a whole potpourri of stuff. You claim that you put a lot of money in a truck that she kept and some other stuff, which you will explain to me later. Miss O'Neill, when were you and the defendant living together?
He moved in late September.
And tell me about the credit cards.
The credit cards are in my name and my name only. The credit cards had a zero balance, and I took the defendant once to go shopping for his children for Christmas presents. I was aware of that, and I'm not disputing those charges. And we also had put a down payment on my ring on that same credit card. He said it was his responsibility, and so when the statement came, he would make the payment directly to the credit card company. He'd give the envelope to me sealed, and I would mail it from my place of business, and so on and so forth.
He took the bill sealed?
He took the bill, he sealed and I'm assuming opened it to pay it, but I never.
But you never opened the bills?
I didn't see the bill because, again, it was his responsibility because it was presents for his children and, again, for the deposit on the ring. I didn't see the statement because I had nothing on there at that time. And, Your Honor, I really do feel like this matter was something that was brought forth premeditated. I think that he...
Okay, so let's get to the story and then we'll discuss whether it was premeditated or not.
Okay. I had the credit cards put safely in my bedroom because I was not going to be...
Well, so far you had one credit card that he used. What about the, you said
right.
Now you had
There's
another
a second
credit
card that had gotten mailed to me that I did not use anything for. We took one trip to Tahoe that we did use, and again, I'm not disputing those charges. We charged about $150 that weekend. So what had happened was I placed the Visa in the headboard of the bed, and then when the MasterCard came, I also put it with that as well.
When did you discover that there were excessive balances on the credit card?
On March 27th, I received a notice that there was a certified letter at the post office waiting for Jason that was for a storage unit that I had had my bed in that had all of his other belongings in it. So I was a little suspicious because obviously it wasn't a Christmas card, it was probably an eviction, and that means that he was back a couple months. So I confronted him that evening and I asked him, how are we doing on the bills in general, my ring, the storage, little things like that. He said, oh, honey, we're caught up, we're fine. And he also got offended that I would even ask him something like that. So he was at that point lying to my face. So that morning when he left for work on the 28th, I went through a side of his bed that there were drawers that he kept a number of receipts and tax return information. When I found the credit card statement, I noticed that I also found forged receipts that have my name forged in his handwriting, and also a lot of the receipts in his possession matched my credit card statements with an outrageous balance. So
what was the balance?
The balance on the credit card was almost $6,000. That was the Visa, and the MasterCard was about $1,500.
You have those statements?
Yes.
I'd like to see them, please.
Did you want to see the forgeries too?
Yeah.
Okay. These are the receipts, and then these are some information along with my copies of my time card as to...
No, just give me the receipts, please, and the balance that you found on each of the cards. Am I correct that there was some cash withdrawals as well?
Correct. And I've never made a cash withdrawal, and I don't know how he got the PIN, but my name's Aaron, and he had commented once before that he had called for insurance purposes on the truck, that he used my name, Aaron, and he thought it was kind of humorous that he could get information using my name. And so I'm assuming he might have used that method to obtain a PIN number because I don't know my PIN. I've never used cash advance.
Did you ever get a PIN number yourself?
I never received one myself. I don't know if one was ever mailed or, because I don't use that. And Your Honor, on a lot of the forgeries too, he's misspelled my name, so.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, Your Honor, I have some proof here, some letters here showing that she did give me permission to use the credit cards.
Mr. Valley, let's start from the beginning, sir. I want you to start with where you got the credit cards from, when you took them out and used them and signed her name.
Your Honor, I used the credit that she gave me the credit cards to hold in my wallet. There was nothing in, no coverage or nothing like that. She gave them to me when we go out at night and stuff like that. She didn't want to carry a purse, so she gave me her driver's license and her credit cards. Sometimes she'd have a little too much to drink or something like that. We're checking out, okay, and it's like, we're signing away, and she'll say, just sign the credit card. I didn't think this was a problem. I had no idea. I always had the credit cards in my possession because when I first met her, she used to keep her credit cards in the freezer in a bowl of water, okay, yes. Because she had using the credit cards too much. She racked up bills and stuff like that.
Yes.
When I first moved in, you know, she says, okay, you know, pay minimum rent. You know, here's my credit cards. You pay off your credit cards, okay? And she says, well, you know, I have a better interest rate that let's use my credit cards when we need them, as long as you pay me back. And I was making the payments. I
Just
was
a
paying
minute.
her back.
There we go. As long as you pay me back.
Yes.
Okay. You see, you keep talking. Sometimes if I let you keep talking, and you stick both feet in your mouth. So, you acknowledge, sir, let me take your best case scenario, that you used her credit cards, but the agreement was you would pay for those credit card bills.
Correct.
So why didn't you pay them?
I was paying. I have proof here that I was paying them every month.
How much were you
Okay,
paying?
I was paying $140 a month.
So therefore, Mr. Valley, you acknowledge that you owe her $5,000.
No.
Well, explain that to me, sir.
Because
either you took the credit cards, pay attention to what you just said. Either you took the credit cards, as she says, without her permission, or you had her permission, but your agreement was that you would be paying a minimal rent and you would take care of all the charges on the credit cards. That's what you just told me a moment ago. So explain to me why you don't owe her $5,000.
I was to take full responsibility of what I put on the credit cards, Your Honor.
That's not what you told me, sir.
Well, that's
I mean,
what
how
I
does that work out? You order 2-egg roll, you pay for yours and you don't pay for hers?
No, Your Honor.
You you put gas in the car, you split that down the middle. How does that work?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Chevy pickup, when we purchased it, it was bone stock.
No, I purchased the truck. He has credit worse than a 2-year-old.
And later today,
I apologized and I told her I was late on the payment and that I would get to it. She...
Talk. Did you make March's payment?
No.